Hello, I am Rafael, and this is my final exam for the subject of diversity and school organization. So let's start with the first part of the project.
So, firstly, we have the block 1. I will act as the principal of the Jacinto Benavente, a primary school center from Alcantarilla, in the region of Murcia. Here we have around 1,000 students, which is a lot, and around 20% of them are immigrants. There is also a small group of students, not more than 5% of the total, that has some special needs and need help for learning. Now, having the context, I have asked an AI, which is ChatGPT, to give me 10 ideas for improving this situation. On the screen you can see the question I gave to the ChatGPT and the answer it gave to me. Now, if you want to read the full answer, you can check it in the transcription as well, which is below here. After carefully reading the 10 ideas, I chose 5 of them, which I will reflect on now. So firstly, we have bilingual education programs. I think it's a very appropriate measure, taking into account the diverse linguistic backgrounds of the students of the center. It is supported by the law created by the Ministry of Education. Now, the actors affected by it are the students who will improve their language skills, the teachers that will have some additional language preparation and resources, and finally the parents, especially those who can speak Spanish, who will be able to feel more included in the education of their kids. There are also some relationships that can be affected, like between teachers and students and among some students, that will improve their communication. Then we have cultural competency training for teachers. It is appropriate for our center since it will allow teachers to manage the class better. It is also supported by the law, like our previous idea. The affected actors are teachers who will have to receive some training, students who will understand the lessons better, and the administration, which will have to provide training for teachers. This idea will improve the relationships of teachers and students, who will understand each other better. Now, there is an inclusive curriculum development. It is highly appropriate for our center, as it will ensure that everybody is included in education. It is supported by the MLOI and affects students who will relate to the contents they are being taught better, and teachers and coordinators, who will have to ensure that the curriculum and the lessons are inclusive for all students. The students will have a greater engagement with the material they learn, and the teachers will be able to connect better with their pupils. Here we have family engagement activities. They are appropriate for our center, as it will strengthen the relationship of the school with the families of the students. The involvement of families in the education of their kids is promoted by the LOMLOE. Parents will increase their participation in the educational process. Teachers will get to know the families of their pupils better, and students will benefit from these new partnerships. There will be some affected relationships, such as between the school and parents, who will have an enhanced communication and collaboration, and the students and their parents, who will receive more support at home. And finally, we have enhanced student support devices. The MLO emphasizes the importance of this idea, and it is appropriate for our center since it will ensure that no one is left behind. Students will receive personalized support, and the support staff will have new responsibilities, so they will have some training. These two actors will have a closer and more supportive relationship, which will be beneficial for the relationship between the teachers and students as well. Now, regarding the third question of this part of the exam, the solution proposed by the AI covers a lot of aspects of educational diversity, but also forgets some important ones, such as the gender diversity and inclusivity, the problems that some students with disabilities might have for accessibility, as well as socioeconomic and neurodiversity issues. Thus, even though the answer is interesting and provides some important information and solutions, it still forgets some important aspects of educational diversity. There are also some relationships that the AI forgets about when proposing these ideas. For example, the student and administration relationship, the teacher-administration relationship, as well as some relationship between members of the staff or between different teachers from the school.
So now let's move on to the second block of the exam, for which I have chosen the second question. So here I will attend as the principal from the Jacinto Benavente Primary School Center. As we already saw before, this is a diverse and multicultural center. For that reason, my plan related to coexistence will have some important characteristics. Being inclusive and supportive, and promote a cohesive school environment. Now I will talk about the 5 points that I came up with for improving coexistence. So when I talk about each of them, there will appear a wider explanation about it. So there we go.
Firstly, we have inclusive curriculum and pedagogy. Then we have professional development for cultural competency. Now we have enhanced student support services. Moving on to the fourth point, we can find family and community engagement. And finally, there is conflict resolution and peer mediation programs. Each of these points reflects some aspects and elements from my leadership style. Some of the most important ones are: firstly, transformational leadership, as they aim for a change of some elements. Then, servant leadership, as I want the well-being of both teachers and students. We also have situational leadership, as they can adapt to the different needs of the community of the school. Now there is the community leadership, as they can improve the ties and relationship with the members of the school community. And finally, we have democratic leadership, as I want everybody to have the ability of free choosing and participating in the school. For ending with the first part of the exam, we have the third block, for which I have chosen to do the first question. The diversity care plan provides a lot of elements and strategies that can be used with students that have intellectual disabilities. Some of these are individualized education plans, IEPs. They consist of setting individual learning goals for each student, as well as a differentiated instruction and have small classes. These plans use assistive technology and some adapted materials. Then, inclusive classroom environment. This plan includes implementing cooperative learning and that the teachers give support to the students and have a positive behavior. They can use visual supports such as images in tablets or in the board screen. Then, professional development for teachers. Teachers can receive some training for understanding better special needs students and collaborate with specialists. They can do so by joining professional learning communities, PLCs, or by participating in educational webinars, which are like seminars but online, and other courses. And finally, we have family and community engagement. Teachers can also communicate openly with the families of these students and even organize parent workshops where they will be able to share their experiences and understand each other better. However, all these elements of the diversity care plan are useless if they aren't put into practice. For that reason, after studying these elements, I have developed an activity for students with special needs, which is about collaborative storytelling. Its objective is to improve the communication, social interaction, and creativity of the participants. For doing it, the teacher will have to choose an easy story theme and present it visually. Then, divide the class into groups with mixed abilities, and after each group creates and presents the story, everybody will have to reflect about it in class. The teacher will also have to give a lot of personal support in order for the activity to succeed. Finally, we are ending with the exam, as we only have one activity left, so let's start with it. During this course, I have learned a lot about new concepts and topics, such as scheduling, coexistence, diversity, pets, etc. However, there are some of them that I was particularly interested in. For example, regarding school organization, I found the leadership topic really interesting, not only for education-related activities, but for life in general. Leadership is crucial for work, family, school, and for when there are difficult times. Before this course, I saw leadership as something far from me, something that was mostly used, for example, in political matters. However, now I have understood the importance of this concept, and I will try to improve it myself. I have also learned about the importance of diversity in schools nowadays, and how it must be approached. Personally, I think that the most crucial idea for attending diversity that I have learned in this course is how important communication is. Having a good communication with students that show learning problems or who have different social and economic backgrounds is absolutely crucial for having a good class environment, as it will ensure that everyone can understand each other. Understanding concepts like this one has made me aware of the importance of attending to diversity, because if this aspect is not taken into account by the teachers, then the students will have a tough time learning. During the preparation of this video, I have revised some concepts that I had studied in the past, as well as put into practice some others, which have been very useful for understanding them better and seeing them as more useful for the future. Finally, for all these reasons, as well as for the hard work that I have put into this course, I think that my final mark should be an 8 out of 10, which reflects some of the mistakes that I have made in some activities or projects, but also shows how I learned from these mistakes, as well as all the activities that I did already. So this is the end, and thank you all for listening.